I'm gonna roll the.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
What's up? Here? What?
Hey, I like that clip.
Hey,
I like
everybody,
that,
welcome to Up to It Kickbacks. What's
man.
good?
We here. We're
We're
here.
here. We're here. Oh man, so we're reviving it, but doing it differently. Is that what we're doing?
I think so. I think that's what. I mean that's a staple. I don't know if we recreate that or what that is. I don't know. I like it though.
Yeah, we got to keep that. Got to keep that, man. So yeah, definitely. So yeah, this is up to it kickbacks. Welcome everybody. Hey, I'm Jay Give, and
Yo,
who?
and the Z give out here.
Oh, trying to do big things. Ain't mad at that. Yes, thank you everybody for joining us. So hey, everybody might be wondering why are we doing this, and so we wanted to come to you all and let you all know that we are a black father and a Blaxican son who's black and Mexican. And who we are, which we call Blaxican, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Uh, we out here and we have a positive relationship. Of course, we grew up together in the same household, and I was big papa. You know what I'm saying? No stopper. Raising a young man, and also have a daughter, and Ziggy's moms and whatnot. And so we wanted to. We thought, man, we were looking around, me and Z, and we were just like, you know what? There's not a father and sons really out there that's talking about different issues. And so we wanted this podcast to be out there for men of color and youth of color, and actually for anybody else also that wants to tap in and maybe hear some different ways in order to maybe deal with situations or hear about different situations. So some of the things we're going to touch on, like mental health, anxiety and stress, substance use
Mm,
issues, bullying, social media, healthy relationships, masculinity, loss, dating relationships, and all that good stuff and whatever else may come our way. So
right.
that's what this is all about. I mean, is that true? Is that what we
Oh, for sure.
do?
All that and some more, right? I mean, I think we're gonna have some tough conversations, I think. And we're gonna talk about how we handle those tough conversations as I were growing up as well, right? Like, and all those things can be tough. So yeah, it's just a way the little tips or tricks or things that you can pick up on the pod, maybe things that we don't even know that we're doing, that you're like, you know what, maybe I can implement this with my family. And yeah, we say, people of color, but hey, if you're also maybe one of those people that don't identify like that, man, welcome to the pod anyway. Let's
You know what I'm
talk
saying?
about
Welcome
it,
to the pod. We welcome everybody and anybody,
Hey,
as long as you keep it positive. We good with it, for real, for real. No doubt.
exactly.
So I guess the other thing then is like, people might be interested in knowing like, well, who the heck are y'all then? I mean, I know
Facts.
a lot of people jumping in right now. We're going to be inviting, our friends and family,
Right.
but you know, yo, who are you? Z give,
For sure.
tell me a little
Let's
bit
do it.
about who you be and whatnot.
Yeah, man. Definitely. So Z Give, that's the name that I've been going by for, like, I don't know, now 10 years or something crazy like that. But it's been cool. But my real name is Zion Givens. Born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. Some people will say that city is boring, and I would maybe agree with them. There's definitely some highlights in there, but definitely not the big city. But I currently reside in Phoenix, Arizona now. A little bit bigger pond, you know what I mean? Huge music lover. I love music, all things music. I think the dude sitting on the right side of the screen did a
What
good
up?
job of just diversifying my ear a little bit. And I like everything, man. But my favorite artist of all time, man, y'all probably can't see, but I'll tilt the screen. Is Mr. J. Keezy, Mr. J. Cole. You know what
J.
it is.
Cole.
Yeah. So it's actually his birthday as we're recording this. So, if J. Cole, if you stumble upon this man, happy birthday. Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday. Happy birthday to
Birthday.
you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Oh,
Jay
hey, did we
Keezy.
harmonize on a live
All right.
stream?
I don't know if you had the harmony part, but
Oh, I thought
I,
I was. I heard it well. But
Okay,
anyway,
okay, cool.
yeah,
I ain't got the headphones. I got
hey,
the pop
it
some of
sounded
that.
good in my ear. It was cool. Maybe it didn't sound good out loud. I don't know. But yeah, music, J. Cole, hip hop. Used to listen to a lot of Pops used to listen to a lot of 50 Cent. It was funny. I don't know if you have this memory at all, but it was something that's really intrigued me, and I wanted to see if you remember this as well. I remember going to pre-K, like, at St. Mark's, right over there, Alvernon, whatever the other cross streets are in Tucson, and you were whipping the Camry. The Giselle was her name, right? Was it Giselle?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Pops had a system, and he was a young dad, he was a young man doing his thing, looking fly. All I remember is like the bass just rattling in the back seat, and you were playing in the club. You're playing in the club, and it's like 8:30 in the morning. Here I come with my little backpack door, being like, "What's up, y'all?" Like just rocking out, feeling like the coolest kid like ever. And this is a Catholic preschool, like and Pop showing up with the loud tune. So that's a fond memory, and I tell youth that all the time. Like that's what I grew up listening to. Yeah, because that's what you were playing. And
Yes,
that's a
yes.
very great memory. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah, music is always my thing, and bass makes me high, man. I mean, I don't mess with the other stuff, but music makes me high. So that's what like just sometimes I get going in the morning. I need some bass, and so in all my whips, I've always had the subs going and make
Truth.
sure everything's equalized properly, and yeah, just gotta be bumping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
Even
it
as I
started
got
off my
older now, I got to have bass.
but even I mean, even like it hyped you up, but it also hyped me up for the day too. Like I don't know if you ever knew that, but it definitely hyped me up for my day too. That was in my head the whole time in the club. Yeah,
As long as you don't
but
repeat the lyrics while you're up and
yeah. No, I was definitely more the beat guy. You know what I mean? I just boom,
clapping.
boom. Yeah, that was me.
Right.
But
All right.
that love music, sports. I love sports, man. A little bit more about me is I love sports. Basketball will always be my favorite sport to watch and play. Big Phoenix Suns type of guy. You know what I mean? Big Phoenix Suns type of guy. We're going through a little weird thing. I think we definitely missed our
All
window
right.
for a championship this the last 2 years, but
Yeah.
it was great. We were on a high, man, for like 2 years, and I've never felt that way. In just living in Arizona, we never had a great. We had Steve Nash and Amari for
Yeah.
sure when
Yeah.
they
No
were
doubt.
when,
No
when
doubt.
they were here, but it was cool. But we're figuring it out. Phoenix Suns. We're gonna figure it out. We're
Hey,
gonna make it happen.
well, the good news is that at least you're a fan of the Phoenix Suns. So my squad is Lakers, and we've been
Mm,
hurting for many a year. Many
yeah.
a year. So, but anyway, my bad. Go ahead. So with the Suns,
No, I mean, yeah, a big Phoenix Suns guy. Love the Phoenix Suns. Yeah. So, but also I love football too. I never wanted to play per se. This right here makes a lot of money. You know what I mean? And I can't be messing that up. So, but I'm a huge Detroit Lions fan, which is like it's really weird to a lot of people, and people
it's
always
very
ask me
weird.
like,
It's very weird.
why am I a Phoenix Sun or why am I a Detroit Lions fan? And in all honesty, I never said this out loud, only when in private conversations, but
Oh, we
um
getting a scoop. We getting a
we're
scoop
getting
right now.
scoop. We're getting the
What?
inside scoop here.
Big.
This is the Up to It Kickback podcast. Come on now, I gotta give him some.
Gotta give them a
Uh,
little something.
I got to. But the reason why I like Detroit was because growing, like I think it was 2011, 12 when Big Sean started to make on the scene, his way on the scene, and I like Big Sean. I remember we were on a trip to Texas, and that was
No
my
more interviews.
last
No more interviews.
my last my last featuring Chris Brown. If y'all remember that song, you guys are goaded. That was like the first song Big Sean dropped and went like was radio hit, right? And that was the only thing I was listening through that whole trip. And I was like, this is my favorite rapper of all time right now. Like Big Sean is my favorite rapper, and he was from Detroit. And I saw him doing work with Detroit Lions and like just repping Detroit gear and whatnot. And I was like, you know what? I don't really have an NFL team, but I'm a roll with the Lions. So since 2012, 2013-ish, I've been rocking with the Lions, and it's been hard. You know what I'm saying? It's been hard to be a Lions
Not an
fan.
easy road. Not an easy
No,
road.
right? And that's one of the things I noticed about my teams that I pick is I want to be with them while they're down. Like it's easy to be with people when they're up,
Yes,
Bro,
yes, yes,
who
yes.
gonna roll with you when you losing and getting blown out every game? I will.
Right,
Because then
right.
you see the 2023 season, your boy's winning record 9-8. What's up?
There you
And
go.
everybody wants to be part of the Detroit Lion gang now. I'm like, where was you at when we were 3-11? Where was you at? You wasn't out there repping. You weren't talking about Jared Goff. You wasn't out there talking about Matthew Stafford. But hey, but that's my little tangent about the sports and how I became all into that. But now, my 9 to 5, my 9 to 5. It doesn't feel like a 9 to 5 because I love what I do. Is I go out and talk to youth, talk about prevention. I work with an organization called Not My Kid, and they do amazing work out
Well,
here throughout the
shout out, not my
valley.
kid. What up, not my kid?
Hey, shout out, shout out. You know what it is. So, I get to do this, and you heard mom in the background, talking about TikTok. I love posting about just some things that are helpful and that can resonate with youth that I wish I knew growing up, and I wish there was somebody posting about that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I love to do, man. That's a little bit about me, and I know that was long winded, but I feel like since we're gonna be rocking with each other for a whole
Yeah, yeah.
year and
Let them
some
know. Let them know.
change,
There's gonna be other little nuggets we drop along the way, so it's all
right?
good.
At
Yeah,
least know
I mean,
about
yeah,
your
that was
boy.
only about 5 minutes. I mean, you good? You all right? You all right?
Hey, that's cool. That's a 5-minute intro. I like that.
You
All right,
all
yo,
right?
Pop, let them know who you be.
Yeah. So Jay Give to bite off of Z Give. I'm really the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. I'm the man with the power. Uh, Jamal Kenya Givens. Also the K. I used to say Jamal K Givens, and the K stands for cool. You know what I mean? So that's a part of my intro sometimes. I was born in LA, Inglewood, LA. And my
IE.
yes, my pops and my mom, dad military, mom military. They met in the military. They then moved to Cali while in the military, and then gangs. It was actually right in Inglewood, was right when the black folk were starting to get some land and homes. My parents had a home, and but unfortunately, gangs started to move into the community, and so my dad was like, I don't think this is the place for me to be raising you. Um,
Mm.
I mean, we could try to stick it out, but I got to have bigger dreams for you. And because the Givens family has overcome so much, I got to make sure you're in the right place to thrive. And so my dad had connections being overseas, and because my dad went to Japan, he was in Vietnam War, and he traveled throughout the world, and so he had some connections with the people that worked at a oil company called Saudi Aramco. It was called Aramco at the time, and it's the largest producing oil company in the world. And my dad got a job there, and so we ended up moving to Saudi Arabia,
Mm.
um, and we're there for 20 plus years. And
Wow.
so that was kind of, we would travel prior even to that. Once I was a little bit after I was born, right before we went to Saudi, we went and to Philadelphia. That's where my dad's from. My mom's from Roanoke, Virginia, and so we would travel there. Dad would take us down sometimes to visit family in Georgia. Our name is known in Georgia also, and so it was definitely an experience. Even once we were there and we come back to the States, we would travel to different places. I got an opportunity to travel the world due to my parents and the choice that they made and living overseas. And so the I like I said, was raised in Saudi. I went to boarding school in Vermont, the whitest state in America.
Hey,
What?
that was cool though. And when we went out there, that was cool.
Oh yeah, I did take you guys out there just so you
Yeah.
see something different. It's all about experiences and seeing and talking to different people and knowing different cultures and different environments and learning how to move within those cultures and environments, especially as a black man. And so the experience of being in Vermont was dope. Went to St. John's Berry Academy. The people that were there were amazing.
Mm.
They were open arms. They were supportive. Don't get me wrong. Still had some knuckleheads that were
Oh, for
there
sure.
that we had to get down with and help them understand you can't use the N word
Mm.
and that all black people ain't thugs and gang
Right.
banging and slanging and all that and that.
Mm.
Well, we had to adjust a couple of attitudes sometimes, but it's all good. And then after graduating from there, Ended up going to Liberty University, which is a Baptist college in Lynchburg, Virginia. Was doing that for a little bit, and then didn't like that for me
Mm-hmm.
because it was more strict than my boarding school. So I was like, hold up, you're supposed to be going to college and you're supposed to be like getting it on, doing your thing. And they was like, nope, you can't do all that. And I was like, I gotta go. So then I started applying to different colleges, and then I got into Temple University in Philadelphia, back with my family, my peeps on the East Side. So yeah, did a 2-year bid there, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother graduated from high school, and he got accepted to the University of Arizona. He and I hadn't been together for a while because I went to boarding school. He was still in Saudi going to school. Then once he graduated, he went to boarding school, and wanted to make sure that we stay connected because I love my brother. Got a little brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's only 4 years younger, but that's my dude. And he got accepted to the University of Arizona, and I wanted to be with him. So I was like, yo, all right, let me transfer. So ended up transferring to University of Arizona. Great school. Actually, all the schools I went to be honest, were really great. And did my time at the U of A. Backtracked a little bit here and there between all the schools because they didn't accept some grades because
Mm.
Liberty University was a Baptist college, so some of the work done around the Bible and things like that they wouldn't accept it. Temple being an East Coast school, they the U of A wouldn't accept some East Coast credits and the way that they did things. And so kind of messed me up a little bit as far as like really being on track to graduate on time, but it was all good. It was all to the good.
Right.
And so, got graduated from the U of A, got stuck here in Arizona. But Tucson, it's cool. It's slow. It's like Z said
Sure.
earlier. It's not a big town, but it's a great place to raise a family. And that's where I met my wifey out here, and been down 20, 25, going on 25 years, yo. 25,
Sheesh.
no doubts. That's crazy. And and yeah, just was putting it down here, and then got my master's degree. And so
Mm.
the work that I do. Well, and you were talking a little bit about music. I like all types of music, like Z was saying.
Right.
We play all types of music. I mean, I love to sing. That's one thing
Mm.
I guess I should share with folks. I love to sing, and I sing all different types of music from rock to
Yes.
rap, hip hop. I do some R&B. Yeah, do just some jazz, bluesy type
Some
stuff.
country.
I do.
You dabbled in the country.
I do dabble a little bit in the country. I don't know a lot, but I got a song or two for
There
y'all
you go.
if you
That's all you
need.
need. That's
That's
all you
all
need.
right. In
On the
the
arsenal.
pocket. You gotta have it in the pocket.
There you
So
go.
so I love to sing. And then the as far as sports, basketball is my main game as far as watching and stuff like that.
Mm.
Love basketball. And I don't know if you remember Z,
Okay.
when you was a little tyke, I think you were like 3 or 4, and
Mhm.
your mom's left you at home with me, and I always used to take off work during March Madness, um, and because that was my week, week or two,
Right.
whatever, and especially like the first week, just to see, got the
Oh,
brackets going and all that.
and
And
all the games are playing. All the
pardon?
games. You have, like, all the games are playing too.
Yeah,
That first day, you have, like,
exactly. It's
5
just
monitors
crazy.
happening. Yeah.
Yes, it's crazy,
Mhm.
right? It's crazy fun. And
Yeah.
so, but I had to watch you, and I was like, okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. We just got the little, we had the screen where it was like all thick and whatnot.
Right.
28-inch was like, yeah, I'm living, dog. And so a lot of times you would want to, be interacting and playing. I'm like, man, I'm trying to watch the game, man. I can't be messing with you. Hold up, man. And so you had this little bouncer thing, and I put you in the bouncer, and it was one of these ones that kind of like laid back. It was like almost like a laid back jack, low back, and
Okay.
it would just rock a little bit. And I put you in front of the TV, and you were just kind of rocking a little bit, and man, you were like so engaged on that TV. I was
Oh, wow.
like, yeah, chilling. And you were just watching them run back and forth up and down the court, and you would stay there for like the whole game. And then
Wow.
when like halftime would come, you'd be like, "Oh, what? I'm not be like, give you a little bottle or whatever." And then when it
Right.
come back on, you'd be like, "Oh man, you just be just so engaged with it. It was kind of crazy." I was like, "Dang, this is." So that's when we started watching basketball a lot of times
Right.
as you continue to grow up. So anyway,
I like that
that's a
memory.
nice
That's a
little
good memory.
nice little tidbit. Let's say this is when
Yeah.
he was a young type, man. Like I said, 4 years old. And so yeah, so Lakers, that's my team. It's just okay.
Mm.
I'm LA.
Hey,
I
it's rough out
did
there.
come on the scene when they were hot. It's only because I'm from LA. So that's just the way it is. That wasn't my fault. But I'm sticking with them
Okay.
as they are not good right
Yeah. No. Not right now. Not right now. Not right
now.
now.
For the last, dang, how long has it been?
Maybe.
7, 5, 7, 8.
Well, no. I mean, y'all won 2018 in the bubble. So I mean, it's like a, it's like, but that was like that's when y'all got LeBron. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, you went in the
whatever.
bubble.
It's all good.
I don't even know if that counts winning in the bubble. You know what I'm
See, now
saying?
that's a whole debate, a whole conversation.
Right,
But
right.
we're not a
All right,
sports
all
podcast.
right,
We ain't a sports podcast.
all right. Yeah, okay, we won't digress. We won't digress on that. Anyway, so yeah, so Lakers is my thing. Singing is my thing. But as far as what I do, currently I have my own nonprofit organization called LPKNC. It does not stand for anything. People always want to know, like, what does that stand for? It used to stand for Liberty Partnership Keno Neighborhoods Council, LPKNC, but now it's LPKNC. There are some things that happen revolving around that whole name. And so the moniker LPKNC is so dope and so well known within the community in which I live, on the South Side.
Outside.
South Side, it sticks. So it's LPKNC. We focus on prevention of substance use, misuse, and promoting mental health and wellness, including suicide prevention work. And so that's what I do. That's what I've done through my years. I got my master's degree, like I said, in educational counseling. And so I've worked in behavioral health field and been a counselor therapist for years. And so that's what I do, people. That's what I do. That's who I is. You
And
know
he
what
does
I'm
it
saying?
well, you know?
I try to shine a little bit. I try to
Yeah, you do.
shine
You
when I
do.
can. But it's all about just connecting with young people
That's all it
and
is.
making sure that, doing the best that they can do and helping them avoid the obstacles they may get in their way of being the best that they can be. So,
That's all that's
okay,
good.
I don't know if that was that was probably like a 9 minute, 7 minute, but I threw a story in there. I threw a
You
story.
did the story, but you also went a lot further. I mean, you also had a lot more life than I have yet. You know,
That
like
is true. That is true.
we got to acknowledge that.
That is true. So yeah, the resume on the CV is a little longer. You
Right.
are
So
right.
we got to
Not that much
respect it.
longer. Not that much longer, but longer. Yes. Good point.
Hey, it's all good. You know what's interesting? I mean, it's cool because now we have this platform, right? And we're able to have these conversations.
Yes,
And
sir.
one of the when I go do these presentations, and I tell people that I'm a second generation prevention specialist, right? Like that's crazy to people, and it's like it's not that crazy. I mean, and they think it's crazy because they think of the pastor's kid, right? Like let's talk about that. I mean, that's not really a topic, but it's more like an
You
idea
can.
that I just
You
had
can
because you
share.
brought it up.
Yeah.
But the ideology behind the pastor's kids is like the pastor kids is always like the worst kid on the
Mm,
playground, right? Like this is the dude that's maybe doing substances or maybe the dude that's, getting into a lot of trouble, right? And
no.
you're like, your dad's the pastor? Like, wait a minute, don't you go to church every Sunday though? Like, and it doesn't make sense. So when people hear that I'm a second generation prevention specialist, they think the story that they're gonna hear is like, yeah, I was using substances and I was being a knucklehead and I was getting in trouble. But that's not that's not the reality, right? That's not what had happened. The reason why I fell in love with this kind of work is because I had somebody else who loved the work but understood it and didn't force it on me. You know what I mean? Like
The word. That's true.
it was something that just clicks and everything makes sense now. I mean, being in the field of prevention and understanding what you were doing at a young age, I get frustrated with you. I mean, because it's like, dude, you always gave me free will. Like you gave me decision, you gave me a choice, right? And
Always.
when I would make the incorrect or unhealthy choice, you would let me make it, right? As long as it wasn't going to harm me or be harmful to the family or harmful to myself or another person, you wouldn't let me make it and make the mistake. And then I'd be like, yo, wait, why'd you say nothing? Like, where was you at? Like, and the thing that I remember you just saying is like, you have to live through it. Like, you have to make these mistakes. Like, if I was like a helicopter parent and just on you 24/7, not letting you make those mistakes, how you gonna learn?
Yeah.
Like, how you gonna learn the stove is hot if I don't let you? Like, like,
Yep.
hey, that iron's hot.
Right. Right.
Now you know that iron's hot. And I had to
Yep.
go to Lion King with a burnt hand, but it's okay. That's a whole nother thing. But no, I just think it's cool that we can that now that this platform we can really talk about how it works, right? And how prevention actually can help youth and
Yeah.
help people if you implement it correctly.
And I think that's the one thing that I think you're right, man. And us wanting to do this partly is, sometimes people don't have to necessarily go through the rough times.
Right.
If you can hear some of the stories and ways of possibly doing some things. Now, things that we may share, people may not necessarily fully agree with, but hey, maybe give it a shot so that you don't have to necessarily go down that
Mhm.
road of mismanaged relationships and or
Right.
damaged friendships or because sometimes to come back from those negative things is extremely hard and more difficult than one may want it to be. And so I think that's when Z and I were talking, we were just like, you know what, let's share with people from our perspective. um you know we happen to have a really good relationship.
Mhm.
Sometimes some fathers and sons don't have that, and a lot of young men don't have fathers and didn't have fathers
Right.
and don't know how to build a relationship. And
Mm.
so this platform allows us an opportunity to share that with you if you ever
Right.
need that guidance or are wanting that. And not to say that I've done it right, um,
Yeah.
or that I won't continue to do some things wrong. That's not what this is about. This isn't me being and Z being all high and mighty.
Mm-mm.
It's a process. But there was some foundation that was laid by my father, Elsie
Mhm.
Gibbons Jr., and those were things that were passed on to me, and I think it's definitely passed on to Z.
Mhm.
And we felt it important to not just hold it within our family, but go ahead and share some of these things with other folks too, and hear from other professionals in the field
Yep.
that got some skills, right? Because we got some
Big
connections on
time.
those things, and hear from other people of color and people that are not, that just are
Yeah.
that are wise, and let's have some fun too, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It ain't no fun when it's not fun. You
You
feel
know what
me?
I'm saying? It ain't no
Like,
fun if the homies can't have none. You know what I'm saying?
look at that. See, look at now they're gonna be like, "Yo, what did I just tap into?" Look, I was gonna hit you with the Jamal spin, but I got to take that away from you, brother. I'm sorry. That was
It's all
ridiculous.
good. It's all good. Sometimes you gotta know. I just gotta drop a little bit of them sometimes. You know what
Hey,
I'm saying?
I get it.
So you
Hey,
were leaning. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, because I was gonna say we were gonna lean into the topic, and you did a great way. Like, so another thing that I do on the side is I do podcasting for real as well. Like, we do this for real. I don't think this is just like something that we were like, oh, you know what, we talk a lot, so let's just like, because that's how every podcast seems to start. Like, oh, we talk about these crazy conspiracies, we should just record ourselves and post it. Like,
Mm,
no, there's actually some thought behind what we're doing. So I mean, we've been doing this for a minute now. Like, this has definitely been something. So one of the things I picked up on, and I think it would be a great transition into today's topic, which is change, right? And you were talking about colleges and going to college and getting your master's degree and stuff like that. And then I think one thing, reason why this is gonna work, because it's been on my mind too, to talk about change and to
mm,
talk about you know what was happening, because you told us you were rocking with liberty. That wasn't your thing. You know what I mean? Like, it was too strict or whatever the case may be.
yep.
So you moved to Temple, and you like Temple, right? Like, if Uncle Tay or if your brother didn't want to dip out or didn't want to go to Philly or didn't want to go to Arizona, like, you would be like, I would probably stay in Temple.
Right.
But you wanted to have that connection with your brother, so you ended up going to Arizona. So that's like a lot of change within 2 to 3 years, or three years, right? That's a
Yeah.
lot of change. And on top of that, you were living in Saudi Arabia, then you went to boarding school. So like, that's a lot of change there too.
Is it is?
So I wanted you to start off with just you have an awesome quote and where you got it from and whatnot. Then we'll dive into a little bit deeper.
Yeah, so sometimes you gotta, you'll probably hear us talk about this throughout the, our series of podcasts, but it's about sometimes when dealing with change and if it needs to be positive, sometimes you got to change your playgrounds, your playthings, and your play friends. And so when it comes to change, it's never easy because if it was easy, then people would do it on the frequent and enhance themselves. But change is challenging, and all those transitions that I made, it was challenging. But what made it not so challenging was my frame of mind,
Mm,
and not being scared of change. Because the one thing that will always, always, always be in existence is change. It's
yeah.
the one thing that you cannot do anything about. Your
Mm-mm.
body's going to change, your relationships are going to change, your environment changes,
Mm-hmm.
your workplace space is going to change, your income is going to change, your I mean, think about anything. I mean, right now we're on a streaming podcast, using this platform, that's going to change. Think about
Right.
your laptop and all the updates, that changes your phone and the updates you get, that makes a change. So there's all
Mm-hmm.
these changes, and so, in order to sometimes intentionally change, if things aren't going the way that you want, that may mean you need to look at your playground. And the playground meaning where you play and
Mm-hmm.
hang out and kick it may not be beneficial to you. Your playthings are what are the things that you engage in or with that you may need to change. An example of a plaything um, may be your job. You're playing with
Mm-hmm.
that. Plaything may be, where you find your entertainment. You
Oof.
and we might get into talking about pornography. I know you and I had a conversation a few years ago
Yeah.
about pornography and stuff, but sometimes, that may not be beneficial to us. That's my plaything. I may need to change that because it's got me thinking a certain way, and it's not
Right.
right. Your plaything may be, not using alcohol, and probably when we go into another episode, we'll probably talk about that and some of the choices you made just more recently. But anyway, it looks
Mhm.
like you got a thought. I don't want to hold you
No,
back.
I would no, no, no. I want you to keep going because you just. I mean, it's right. You're right. Like the only thing that's constant is change. And I can't agree more with you.
And if you don't learn to embrace that now, I mean, even Z, I mean,
Mm,
he ain't three no more. He ain't two.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's
Mhm.
older now. That's change. It's gonna happen. No matter what you do. So you got to learn if you can figure out how to embrace that now, and work through it and
Yeah.
with it, you'll be all right. And then finally, I mean, this is a hard one. And I'm even going through it right now a little bit. You know what I'm saying? With my play friends. I
Mm,
thought I'd have some homeboys that I mean are dope, positive, intelligent, did well with their career, that we would be like, connecting on a weekly basis like we did, 5 years ago, 5, 10, 15 years ago. And
mhm.
it's not that anything really bad happened, it's that change happened.
Right. Occurred. Yeah, it occurred.
And so my play friends are changing, but then
Mhm.
sometimes you have to be intentional on changing your play friends, especially if they're not helping you get and go where you need to be, or
Right.
supporting you in the way that you need to be supported. And the bad part about play friends in today's world is that people think that social media is their friend, or
Oof.
those likes, or those thumbs up, or those
Comments,
comments,
subscribers.
heart,
Yeah.
and that those are your friends. Those aren't your friends.
Mm,
That's just those are just like little symbols, that
right.
don't really have a lot of meaning. But what we've done is made ourselves believe that they're friends, and attach this meaning to it that really should have no value or substance, but we do that unintentionally. And so
Definitely.
we gotta shift that. And Z got stories about that
Oh
also
yeah,
back in the
definitely.
YouTube when he was starting that, and how that was messing with him a little bit. And
Yeah.
again, nothing crazy, but we had to process it. It was
Mm-hmm.
it's real. It's real. So,
It's
so
real.
yeah. So I mean, we're talking about change, and again, you'll hear more of our stories as we continue to discuss things. But change is I think that's one thing I would leave people with is learn to embrace change,
Embrace
uh,
change.
and then make changes that you
Benefit.
need to make to be
Hmm.
successful and to be positive.
Big time.
Um, and so that's what I would say. So be aware of your playgrounds, your
Mm.
playthings, and your play friends.
Your playground. So like I want to, I mean, that's simplified already, right? But just for the listeners, like playground's your environment. The playthings are maybe your vices, things that you go to for comfort, right? Or it could be that, or it could be your job, right? Those things
Mhm.
are but the job can be an environment and plaything. Yeah, would you agree?
Well, the environment, yeah, playground, yeah, you could change your playground, meaning your job,
Mm,
but it could also be a plaything depending upon how you're, navigating or using it,
for
or it's
sure.
using you.
And then your play friends, right? Or maybe those people that you thought were your friends, right? And I think we'll definitely go more in depth with this in future podcast episodes where we talk about healthy relationships and what that looks like. And some of your friends are not your friends. Like, let's just be honest. Like,
That's
or
true.
that little thing you're hooking up with on the side. Hmm. I don't know, right? Like, is that real? What is that? Is that a play thing? You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
that's real stuff that we're talking about. So definitely, and I like that because it really paints the image for people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so, I mean, that's what this is, really all about. And so that's what we want to leave you all with. I mean, that's what Up to It Kickbacks is going to really be about, is where we just kind of sit back, kick back, talk about different things. And so, there's different ways for you all to get in contact with us and give us
Hmm.
ideas and things that you want to hear about or want to hear us talk about. Because
Yeah,
again, we got some experience and some knowledge, and stories that
a lot of stories.
we hope can help you, be the best that you can be. And that's what this is really all about. And so,
Yeah. And if they want to get at us, man, go ahead and follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram at up to it underscore kickbacks. You can go ahead and follow us there on IG, TikTok, same thing. Same. We're gonna have the same username. If you want to get a hold of us for any else, maybe you're like, you know what, I don't use those two platforms, but I do use email. You can
yeah,
definitely email both of us at Jamal and Zion. That's JamalAndZion at gmail.com. We'll be responsive on there as well. Yeah, man, we're just excited to be here,
cool.
right?
Yes.
And get it going. This is episode 1, man. So we don't want to keep y'all longer here, any longer than you have to be. We
No,
understand
no
you got a
longer.
life, you got things to do, you got errands to run, people to see, all that good
Yes.
stuff. So hey, we're gonna get up out of here. We're gonna get up
No,
out of here.
no doubts. Thank y'all. And we'll get at you.
Yes, we out of here. And don't forget, embrace change. We out
Embrace.
here, man.
1, 2,